and Zoe thing.
Hey! Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And welcome to another glorious installment of the Casey and Zoe thing. I'm Casey Katsaris.
I am Zoe Katsaris.
And we are here with our very first special guest ever here on the thing, Mr. Eric Gladstone.
Mr. Eric Gladstone.
You want to unmute? Come in here.
Muted. What's going on?
What's up, buddy?
It's Eric.
Welcome to the stream. Is it just me, or are we a little herky-jerky?
We are a little herky-jerky because we are on the Discord camera so that Eric can see us.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
okay.
yes.
Got it. All right,
Sorry,
cool.
everybody.
Oh, no. I just wanted to understand. It's fine. We'll get better and better. Oh, Eric, you're a little quiet, according to Dale.
You're a little
I'm a
cool.
little quiet.
Maybe do we need to turn him
Dale.
up? We might need
How's
to turn
that?
you up.
How's this?
Probably better.
Nice.
Talk a little more, Eric.
Hey, it's me, Eric.
You can turn that down.
Seashell
a little bit now, I think.
by the seashore.
How's that, Dale? Better?
No, she doesn't.
Is everyone sound equal? Cool. Great.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I'll hold my mic.
Yay!
Oh,
An
yeah.
old-timey radio announcer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you were okay before. Do you need to? No, it was all bad.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Well, sorry we're a couple minutes late today.
That's okay. We
figuring
set
out-
some stuff up.
Yeah, no. Zoe was figuring out the technical stuff on how to do this. And yeah, I'm wondering on other not to get too caught up in technical things, but is there a way we could do like we did with Arc?
So what we did with Arc, so Eric says it's definitely better, and I agree, if he's
Yeah.
able to see us and we're able to see him.
Right.
So I think it's good if we're on Discord, but let me make sure.
Right. And if Eric watched us on the stream, we'd be lagging.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, technology.
Technology. Yeah, our camera is like Discord, losers.
Yeah.
But
How dare
we're
you.
figuring it out. We're doing
We'll figure
stuff.
it out. It's our first time ever having a
And
guest.
luckily, Eric is crystal clear.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. Video and voice. Microphone, headphones, correct. Video setting, Logitech, yep.
Yeah.
All right, so there's not too much I can do.
Okay.
Let's
Are any hate raiders here today?
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, we did say what time we were coming on today, so
yeah,
they might.
We did.
Oop, what did I do?
You just moved things.
Oh, God. Hold on, Eric.
Hold on.
I should never be allowed to do anything.
No. You figured all this out.
I sure did. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here and get back in
There
here.
we go.
And then get on here. And why are we not here? I might have to just redo it.
Nick Fuentes.
Don't say his name 3 times.
Let's see.
I only said it 2.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice, Nick Fuentes.
Then he'll appear and insist that he's an incel.
All right, I'm just going to have to redo it. That's
Just
okay.
a girl in high school. I didn't want to.
I didn't want to. She forced a kiss on me.
Yeah, I have to just redo it. Okay, so I'm just going to redo it really
Okay,
quick.
Zoe's
Casey
doing-
and Zoe.
This is what Twitch is all about. Is live in the
wanna see it,
moment.
man.
This is so live in the moment.
Chaos.
Okay, hold on. Guys, you're going to see how this works.
Authenticity.
Everybody's
Yeah,
seeing
man.
how this works.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Now I'm going to do this. Wait, guys, look how cool this
Look
is.
behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
This ain't your daddy's broadcast television.
This ain't your
No
daddy's
way.
broadcast television. This is
I
how
love
this stuff
that.
works. Now we're going to make us a little smaller and get behind our frame.
We gotta get behind our frame, or else
Or
we're
we're
exposed,
losers.
else
Or you
we're-
can see my whole body.
Or else we're common frameless freaks.
Bald.
Okay, now we're behind our frame.
We actually.
Yeah. So while I'm doing this silly thing, let's talk about it.
Yeah, Dale. I don't know if you saw, if you were here for the hate raid yesterday. I think you left earlier.
Oh,
hey,
what's
Claire?
up? Hey, we're fixing some Discord stuff. Welcome on in.
Oh, Claire.
Yeah, this is
Claire, our
Eric's
new-
friend.
our new
Yeah.
friend. Through Eric.
Okay, let's see.
Great to have you here,
Eric,
Claire.
Eric,
Hooray for Bernie.
Discord.
We're having some technical difficulties. This is our first
We'll
time
fix it.
having a guest on ever. But Zoe is an
We had
awesome...
we had Eugene on for funsies, and then it was
Yeah, but
all
that wasn't
funsy,
like
but
a-
this is serious and
This is like
cool.
a talk show guest.
Yeah, it's like such a crazy new thing.
A new thing for us. Yeah, Dale. Oh my God, we got a hate raid last night. Like
It was
50 Nick Fuentes fans.
It was
out of the
crazy.
blue.
I've never seen anything like
was
it.
wild.
There's Eric.
We
Aw, look at him.
rewatched the VOD this morning and we're cracking up so hard.
It was crazy. They were coming in and they were saying like the most offensive things they could possibly think of, like just slurs all over the place.
And the bot was just going crazy, banning people.
Banning everyone. It was insane.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's what we like to hear.
We were saying this is like the Twitch aesthetic technical difficulties.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. But yeah, after stream, Casey and I were like, did we handle that okay? And we watched it back today, and it was great. It was hysterical. and they got tired. Like, they ended up leaving because Casey and I kept laughing.
Well, that was the best thing that I didn't really connect the dots on yesterday, but watching the video today is that like they'd say all this very dumb, silly stuff, and then we kept laughing at all the insults they were throwing at us, and then they started chatting, "Not a joke, not a joke, not a joke."
We are a high energy, low T movement.
Yeah, they said high energy, like
happy, high
positive
energy
movement.
Well, because Mark was asking, who are these guys? And I was like, oh, they're a bunch of incel sad boys from the internet. And then they started chatting, no, we are happy.
We're so happy.
It was kind of amazing.
It was so funny. Yeah, so we're coming from, just anyone who doesn't know, we're coming from our Discord camera now, so we're a little laggier than we normally are. We're a little bit, like, musically. And
whereas Eric's perfectly smooth.
But that's the point, you know, Eric's, it's perfect that Eric's perfectly smooth.
Eric is the star of the show today. He's the guest of honor, so it makes sense.
We are here for Eric.
Yes. And so now that we're all on screen again and everything's functioning, thank you, Claire. A place of fun and misery.
So
a
ridiculous.
Delicious cocktail. We are happy incels. Truly, it was so amazing.
Yeah, it was wild. I've never seen anything like it.
Anyway, maybe we'll talk more about the hate raid later, but I want to talk to Eric.
About his comics.
About No Holds Barred. Eric! I'm so happy to have you here. This is so exciting.
Aww.
It is our very first
It's very
guest.
exciting.
Yeah.
And we're
dog
happy.
howling outside. Can you hear it?
On your end? No.
No.
Okay,
I like how I
good.
leaned into the microphone. Like,
We're
that
like,
would make me hear
hey.
better.
Yeah, if we lean into the input device, maybe we'll hear.
That's how electronics work,
Yeah,
right?
we know.
We want Eric's skincare routine.
We do want Eric.
You are looking...
Yeah, Eric, Claire wants your skincare
You're
routine.
glowing. Let's start there. Eric, what's your skincare
My
routine?
skincare routine. There is a Japanese basic store called Muji. They used to have they used to have a store on Hollywood Boulevard, kind of near where like the knitting room used to be.
The knitting factory?
Knitting factory, rather. Yeah, where like
the knitting room.
Yeah, the knitting room. No, it's where the what's it called? The Hokkaido all-you-can-eat fish buffet.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Was in that thing, kind of near Madame Tussauds and the Chinese theater.
Gotcha.
That's crazy.
And so they sell they sell a lot of skincare things, and I got it from there. It's no longer there, so I just go online. They also sell very good pillows, down pillows, and I just switched to all down pillows, and I'm getting great sleep.
Oh, down pillows rule. Yeah, I've been a down pillow man for years now, and it's the way to be.
Have I ever slept
Down
on a
syndrome,
down
down
pillow?
pillows.
Yeah.
I don't know if I even know what a down pillow is.
It's a pillow filled with down feathers.
It's a pillow that goes down.
You know goose down?
Like a down comforter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that, but a pillow?
Yeah, a pillow full of goose feathers.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's great.
It's crazy.
They're pricey, but worth it.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I got them on sale. $25 a pillow. I couldn't believe
that's
it.
insane. That's amazing, Eric.
And they are.
That's a bargain.
My Target pillows were $10, so this must be crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it. MUJI, and they also sell things like essential oil scents and diffusers and clothing and cleaning products, and they some like dishware and that kind of stuff. But they also sell a lot of cosmetics and skincare stuff, and that's my skincare routine. Also, I have the softening filter on. So
tricky.
Eric has a softening filter on. Well, look at us, so angular over in the corner.
Is it Eric or is it the algorithm?
yeah, it's me, the algorithm. And
Are you Algae Rhythm?
Algae Rhythm.
Are you going to recruit us into a Space Jam game?
Yeah, you'd be on my goon squad.
I bet you put together a hell of a goon squad.
I wish that they had done more with their library of characters that they have so much of, instead of just making them cheer with sullen faces for hours and distracted. You know, have Dorothy Gale on, you know, or the Wicked Witch on the basketball team to, like, you know, as a sub.
That is a great idea. Also, Zoe
I just updated our title.
updated our tag.
Listen.
What happened to the checklists?
It's right here.
What
Listen,
was it before?
I was figuring
It
out
was
advertising
Discord.
the root of all evil?
Yes, and
Yes.
it was like politics. This is political. What are you talking about?
No, okay, now we're on Just Chatting, and we've got the right thing.
Everything's fine.
If I can get political for a second.
Please do.
Yeah, get political.
Space Jam 2 sucked. LeBron had a good win last night. I wish he could have brought that intensity to Space. He was
Jam.
the villain of Space Jam 2
He was a bit villainous.
And I saw it twice. Once in the movie theater with my friend Bo, and once on your couch, like a couple days later.
Oh no, I forgot that you were watching it again with me. You're a glutton for punishment.
Oh yeah, you know me.
I have
I've
never
seen the
it.
Room 40 times. What's
Oh
that?
yeah. Oh! Zoe still hasn't seen it, so I
haven't
guess
seen
I have
it.
to sit her down and pin her eyelids open and make her watch it.
Do not Clockwork Orange me into watching
You're the
Space Jam
teacher
2. Don't even try.
Excuse me, Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Is that what it's called?
Isn't that what it's called?
Space Jam 2: A New Legacy.
Oh,
It's Space
2.
Jam: A New Legacy.
Yeah, I don't
I
think they
see.
put a 2 in the official title.
No.
Yeah. All right. So now that we've talked about Space Jam 2,
Yes.
how about we talk about
Let's talk about
No
your
Holds
comic,
Barred,
Eric.
and also just Eric. Eric, to get us started, tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about how you fell in love with comics.
Yeah.
Boy, well, I was born and raised in Los Angeles, and when I was in middle school, my friend Joel gave me a copy of Madman's Odyssey, and that was one of the first I mean, like, I had liked comics before. I of course loved the Superman animated series and X-Men and all that stuff, and these are cultural icons, but
Yeah.
it's. But I had never read something that was like kind of silly and singular and had that kind of motion to it. Really,
Right.
Like Mike Allred is a genius when it comes to art, and so to see something like that was just like fantastic. And I was like, I can't get enough. And so I started doing more research and diving into the whole thing and listening to listening to my heart when it came to and listening to the recommendations of comic book shop employees. I would go during lunch and get copies of the Ultimate Fantastic Four and stuff like that, because that was like a pretty new series back then. And so yeah, I started collecting comics every Wednesday. Started working briefly at the Secret Stash West, which was Kevin Smith's bookshop.
Sure.
I mean, it wasn't a comic book shop as much as it was like a Kevin Smith shop.
Right.
And
Well, the
it had,
official
like, a lot-
name is Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So they had a lot of Jay and Silent Bob toys. They had like the kind of like beat up Ben Affleck wings from Dogma.
Right.
They had I think they had the Pooh Monster prop.
What was it called? The Demogorath or something?
I don't remember.
You don't remember what the poop demon
Sorry.
in Dogma was called? Do I have to do everything?
Yeah, but they also had like toys and new comics and stuff. And I am fairly chronically late to things, and so I was fired from that job, but that's okay.
That is okay.
And yeah, I mean, it doesn't exist anymore. I don't think anything is in there. Like Westwood has very, very high rents, and not a lot of people that want to take that on. So, especially for like a store that would cater to college students, which who knows? It's like a little college town inside of Los Angeles. So,
Yeah,
that's something.
Well, this is a trip because I feel like I'm learning more about you. I kind of always I'm amazed I don't know this about you, but I kind of assumed that you got into the comics like superhero, like like the Spider-Mans and the Batman's first. I didn't know that Madman was your first comic.
I mean, it wasn't my first comic. I had like gone to, shops and gotten back issues of like Web of Spider-Man or Iron Man.
So
or,
you were
like,
a little. So you weren't just into the cartoons at first. You were also into the comics.
Like I had some holofoil spawns and stuff like that, but it wasn't like it didn't like that. It didn't grab me. I wouldn't like consider myself like a comic book nerd / just getting all that stuff weekly and like being a part of the community until middle school. And so
Madman like opened the door to you of like, this art form is a lot more than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from there I was like reading like Love and Rockets and like a lot of indie stuff. And so I mean I definitely have like indie stuff cred and a lot of love for it. I have a lot of zines, and I go to Cala every year, which is it hasn't been on in a couple of years, but I can't wait to go back. And that's I forget what it stands for, but it's like animators and cartoonists and like small stuff. A lot of zines.
Awesome.
And
is that the one on Venice Boulevard used to happen there? Or is it a different one?
This happened in like Glendale
Okay.
in like a basketball hall.
Because I went to some big zine fest that was like Culver City, but I don't know which one that was.
I
don't remember the name of it.
Might have been Zine Fest.
This is all a whole.
Oh, maybe
new
it
world.
was literally. I was just saying it was a zine fest, but maybe it was Zine Fest, and that's why I said that.
You guys are like teaching me so much. I know nothing about any of this.
Oh, right. So, like, actually, maybe this would be a good moment to out Zoe. Zoe hates comic books.
Wow, Zoe, what's up?
I'm sorry. Wow.
And you hate Star Wars. Well, you just hadn't seen
No,
it.
I just
loves Star
watched
Wars
Star
now.
Wars. Star Wars was fun.
And that was one of the cool things. She cried at the end of Return of the Jedi. So did I.
I did.
And yeah, it was
I
like
cried a little at Revenge of the Sith.
it was really inspiring to me. I was like, here's this, this younger person who's never seen Star Wars before, and it's like decades later, and it still moved her deeply, and like that's the power of storytelling.
Oh yeah. Well, and back to the power of storytelling. I've never been big into comics just because I don't know, there's something about the synthesis of like pictures and words. I either want to read the words or I want to look at the pictures.
Yeah.
And like when I do have to do both of them at the same time, I'm like, my brain doesn't like this.
Well, you were saying that you think it comes from like picture book reading in kindergarten.
I hated it.
That like you hated that activity.
But what I was gonna say also is I was so intrigued by the art and the material of this comic that I was reading of yours, Eric, and I didn't even realize until the end of the first one that it's all in iambic pentameter, which was awesome. And big Shakespeare fan, which totally like opened that door.
And it makes me realize I wanted to say at the top that like first just to start off that like the book is awesome.
The book
like,
is awesome.
I meant to say that
It's
first.
amazing.
That the book is really fucking great, and
Yeah. I had a
the
great
writing's
time reading
great,
it.
and it's delightful and funny, and the iambic pentameter is very impressive.
So impressive.
And fun, and the art is gorgeous. It's just
the art's awesome.
It's delicious to look at.
It's so delicious.
It's like a candy shop.
Yeah, it's one of the sexiest comics I've ever seen.
Yeah.
From one of the
Yeah,
sexiest.
Gabrielle Kari drew the line art, and Ines Bravo was the colorist on it, and those two are just amazing. They did some fantastic work. They weren't the original artists. I had some artists do a pilot issue, and then I had hired one to kind of take over and do everything, and then kind of unceremoniously dropped out. It was a big hullabaloo, but yeah, we ended up getting Gabrielle and Ines, and they were both fantastic and really just elevated it, I think. And they have a lot of kind of seinen manga. They're like fans of like boys love and
Sure.
and like and that kind of like sensibility. And I think that they brought that to this, which is a queer book, and they really just elevated it beyond what I hoped.
Oh, it's very queer sexy. Not to give
I know,
anything
my
away
favorite.
from later in the, since I know what only 3 issues are out, right, Eric?
Yeah.
And also, let's say that too.
Yeah, number 3 just dropped yesterday.
Yeah, anyone watching, number 3 just dropped yesterday. Available at certain comic shops, but also online, right, Eric?
Yeah. You can get it at Comixology. I think Mile High or Midtown Comics will have it.
Nice.
Things from Another World will have it. And these are all, I think TFAW has pretty much everything. It's a fairly limited run of books. And so, get it now because one day it'll be worth a lot.
When the No Holds Barred TV show hits the airwaves, you're gonna want those original releases, everybody. So go pick those up.
We have one right here.
Yeah, we already have the original hardcover straight from the Kickstarter. This is just gonna. This will just
so
be.
nice.
This will be worth its weight in gold someday.
Thanks
So
for the
get
money,
jealous.
Eric.
Yeah, y'all jelly.
Well, yeah. So, and I want to talk more about process, but also I want to hear where did the idea come from? What inspired this idea of a Shakespeare Batman?
Yeah, this I'm also very interested in hearing because I've never heard or seen anything like this in the comic book world.
So I have a weird brain, and I make connections to things that are tenuous and make a lot of things up. And I came up with the title first, like all great stories. And so I was thinking about the '60s Batman show starring Adam West, in which to get to the Batcave, he flips up a bust of Shakespeare and presses a button, and the door slides open, and then goes down a fire pole and turns into Batman. And I just thought, well, what if Shakespeare was arrogant enough to have a bust of himself? And so I took a lot of cues from the '60s Batman show, and I was like, okay, well, how would he talk? How would he, would he be this kind of pompous celebrity that also like just fights crime at night? And like, how would that work? And and so it all kind of comes to me at once, and then I just kind of like chisel it out into something that makes sense.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, it was a joy to write. And then what happens is in terms of process, like I basically write this out in Excel. Like a lot of people write scripts in Word and other stuff, but like I start out in Excel. And
Interesting.
it lets you put everything into little boxes, and comics are nothing if not little boxes. So
Okay, genius.
Very interesting, Eric.
Oh.
yeah, so I the first thing I do is kind of plot it out from page to panel, and then I write out what I want it to say in normal prose, and then I count on my fingers how to turn what it is that I say into iambic pentameter. And it actually goes pretty fast. I kind of I was always like writing haikus and stuff in high school just to myself, and like at a weird thing about syllables and numbers. And
Well, yeah, reading it felt like all the iambic pentameter stuff came to you very naturally. Like I could feel you having fun.
Yeah.
Working those out.
It didn't read like, how when you're in high school and you learn what iambic pentameter is, and you're like, dun-na, dun-na, dun-na. And then everything in iambic pentameter feels like that. But reading this, part of why I didn't know it was in iambic pentameter was because it was so fluid. It was just like such fluid writing, it just sounded like words being said, which I think is the initial intent of iambic pentameter in the first place.
Right.
So yeah, nailed that.
Thank you. And I'm not like a big Shakespeare expert, and I wouldn't even call myself like a huge Shakespeare fan. I think he's great.
Yeah.
I have a favorite play. I have a favorite, character, but it's not like I know this stuff, like the back of my hand. It's like I read it in high school and probably more than, most, but I don't know. I'm not like classically trained. I'm not an actor, so it's just but I have respect for it, and I have respect for actors and people who like take it on. And I was like, well, this is just like an opportunity. And I was like, well, who do I know that would want to write something like this? And I was like, I could just do it myself.
There you go. Excellent. Well, yeah. Well, that's wild that you write it in Excel. So,
yeah, I mean, I end up moving it over to just like a basic word processor like Google Docs to share it with the artist, because a comic script is not as formatted as a movie script, and if it was, it would look really weird. But yeah, it's more just like you write a description of the page, you write a description of each panel, and then you kind of visualize like what it's going to look like on page. But I like to leave that to the artist to actually like lay everything out, because that's part of their job, and they have a better visual sense than I do generally. And so, I like to give them that freedom. But also, I think the Excel stuff really just helps me with pacing and plotting in those early stages, and then moving it over, I can kind of see how everything will look.
Yeah. So you don't ever do any like little storyboards or thumbnails. You just kind of keep it in the writing.
Yeah, I mean, I generally like keep it pretty rough, but like, if there's also I did do some thumbnails just to kind of like for my own sake, and I shared it with the artist, and then she went and did her own thing, and it looked a million times better than what I had in my brain, because for issue 3, when they go to Tempest Island and meet Caliban, like I drew him with a little hat, and then she drew this gorgeous fish man with like mouths on the side of his neck, and I was like, oh no, that's not what I was thinking. So
the whole fish man look was totally from the artist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely was striking and memorable. The fish man.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty. And
very pretty.
I think that's where like the coloring kind of really comes together too, and just the overall look of everything. Like the first 2 take place in a fairly stuffy, still fantastical Technicolor version of Elizabethan England, but this is much. This is where like you get, it's the tropics. They're on an island. There's a lot of like fire and skeletons and that kind of stuff, and so and that's where like the tone kind of shifts too, I think. And it's almost like I think you've seen a couple episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but that's like been a big influence on me lately. And they will change the palette dramatically during an action scene. From this kind of normal, like this is kind of a representation how things would look in a realistic sense, to this kind of it's not like when you look at like a negative or like an inverted palette, but it's something that is like there's a lot of pastels and greens and blues and purples, and it kind of looks like the lighting on you now. So
it's one of the most pastel comics I've ever seen, and it's something I love about
this
it.
comic.
Dripping in pastels. And I also saw that Milkman and Greg have joined the chat. Welcome dudes. Welcome to
Greg.
Tell all your friends.
Tell all your friends. Welcome to our first time with a guest on the Casey and Zoe thing, the
exciting.
Phenomenal Mr. Eric Gladstone.
Hi.
Hi.
So, Eric, while I was reading, so every act, obviously the first 3 are out, but we've read all of them.
We've read all. We have advanced copy.
But how did you choose which plays you were going to sort of use for your acts. Did you have ideas for them prior? Do you have like plans to do more plays in the future? Like why the specific ones you chose? Because some are not like the top 5 Shakespeare. Some
Right.
are a little more, you know?
Obscure.
Yeah, some are a little more obscure. I mean, I just I come up with titles first.
Okay,
generally,
yeah.
really.
Yeah.
But like, you know, but there was a lot of like synchronicity and just like me picking up stuff without realizing that I'd picked it up first, because I'd known that his sidekick Paige was going to be just named Paige, and then it didn't hit me until much later that there is a character named Paige in the Merry Wives of Windsor, and then I was like, oh, Merry Wives of Windsor, the Deadly Wives of Windsor. So of course that like became a thing, and so yeah, that was part of it. A part of it was like my familiarity with different plays and stuff. I mean, like I haven't done Hamlet, I haven't done Macbeth, I haven't done the Scottish play.
Yeah. Come on, Eric. It's okay. We're not inside of a theater right now, unless you count this as a
But the
theater.
world
No.
stage,
We can't.
We are merely players.
Yeah. Oh no! All the world's a stage. Fuck.
Yeah.
Also-
yeah, and
Yeah.
didn't do too many histories. Didn't do like Richard III, but like didn't do like Coriolanus or any of that stuff. And you know, I had wanted to do something that had like Tamora the Goth, but and she was just like a hot topic goth. But you know, maybe if
Maybe in the
any
future.
more of this stuff. I have ideas, but like, you know, there might be like some time travel stuff, so they can mutually see
Amazing.
whatever.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything for folks at home, but definitely the ending of the book left me intrigued of where are things going to go from here.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't know if there's going to be any more. I'd like there to be some more, but
Yeah.
it depends on you know, who would be interested. So if you're an executive,
Yeah, I think executives watching right now, development
and you want
execs.
to pay for comics, I mean that, and pay me to write them, I will do it.
Yeah, or make it into a show.
Or make it into an animated show. Like I have been pitching it around as an animated show.
Yeah.
And you know, that's kind of mums, but yeah, you know, still looking for the right home for
Well,
it.
yeah, and also Greg asked if the comic is in a store near him. So for anyone just joining us, Eric, how about you give another little quick plug for where people can actually buy this?
Yeah, you can go to Midtown Comics. You can go to Mile High, TFAW, Things from Another World. You can go to Comixology if you want it digitally. And yeah, search Behemoth Comics. They are the publisher. And yeah, just make sure that you call ahead because it's not available everywhere.
Yeah, not available everywhere, but available all over the place and online.
And
it's the
online.
easiest.
If you're in Los Angeles, you can go to my favorite shop.
There we go.
Is Mega City 1 on Melrose.
Nice. As named after the Dread location.
Yes.
Judge Dredd.
No, it's named after the Mega City. Come on.
Yeah, no, if you actually live near one of those comic shops, definitely go out and support your local comic shop.
Absolutely.
And if you're too far away, order a copy online.
And support our friend Eric.
That's my friend Eric. And so also
Hopefully there will be a trade paperback collection available, and you can get that I think in July. That's when we're soliciting for. So
Cool.
you know, around Comic-Con time, look for me. I will be, you know, promoting the hell out of it. Simon and Schuster will be distributing it, and they're going to put, I think, a lot of care into that.
Hell
It's,
yeah.
you know, something that we want to get into schools and libraries, just because I think, you know, there's some innuendo, there's some violence, but it's no worse than a Shakespeare play, and
Not at all.
I think that it would be welcome among a kind of a young adult audience plus.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Absolutely.
think that's brilliant. Yeah, just get it into kids' libraries, and I think it could take on a life of its own.
Absolutely.
And so now a little more about process. I'm curious because I know you faced a lot of challenges getting this book out there. So I want to tell us a little bit about the road from, the inspiration to actually this thing being a physical object, because I know it's for those of us on the outside looking in, it's easy to just be like, oh, a cool book. But like, I know how much, knowing you and talking to you throughout the process, an insane amount of work went into making this a thing.
Yeah, Casey, you were there when we were. Paul Prado was house sitting for some guy, and we went to his apartment to like hang out and drink beers. And I was thinking, like, oh man, I could make 6 of these, right? And so. That was not the best decision I've ever made, but it worked out. A lot of time and effort going into it.
Because wait, Eric, you did it because you did the first issue first.
I did the first issue first with different artists.
Right.
I
had initially.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I still have a bunch of them in my in my closet.
And I bought that was the one you were selling at Meltdown, right?
Yeah, R.I.P.
I have
Meltdown.
that too. R.I.P. Meltdown, indeed.
Yeah, there's a hole in the ground where Meltdown once was. They're still doing some like selling on Network, the app, but it's not really the same.
It's sad. And anyone who doesn't know, Meltdown Comics was a phenomenal comic shop in Los Angeles. Right on Sunset Boulevard, really big, really geeky, tons of cool shit, and sadly now it's
Neil
gone.
Mangiani and Jonah Ray did a weekly comedy show. That's where I got to see Robin Williams before he passed.
Robin Williams he dropped in at the Meltdown show? That's crazy.
Like Megan Amram was doing a set about like her mom or something, and it was really, really funny. And then like, oh, here comes Robin Williams, and he did like 20 minutes.
Amazing.
And it was the best shit I've ever seen in my life. I also saw Louis C.K. Don't talk about him anymore. Saw Whitney Cummings. Don't talk about her anymore. Scalia. Don't talk about him.
Dropping like flies.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's and so going back to the challenges. Tell us about what obstacles popped up for you.
Yeah, so the first person who I had pitched to draw it drew, I think 6 pages, including a cover, and that ended up being Erica Henderson, who, after I had hired her to do my thing, got hired by Marvel to do Squirrel Girl. And she went on to become this wonderful, award-winning artist who has done some really fantastic stuff. And
she revitalized Squirrel Girl, right? Like, didn't she kind of redesign?
With Ryan North, and she did Dracula Motherfucker with Alice Campy, very good stuff. Does a lot of really cool stuff, is like also a really good Twitter personality, like does like fantastic embroidery and dressmaking and that kind of thing, and definitely like worth a follow.
Yeah.
But she was the person that like designed the costumes, and she like helped out a lot with the initial conception of it. And so, but she wasn't available after those first 6 things, when I was like, well, I want to make it a thing and like, pitch it around. Because most of the time when you are pitching a comic book, you only need about 6 pages to take it to, a Boom or an Oni or an Image, with these kind of, mini major to major, but like not DC Marvel, because they just do their own IP. To do that, it takes they only need a certain amount that an editor is going to read beforehand. And so I did that, and I pitched it around and got a few rejections, and I was like, well, it's still good, I still believe in it, so I want to do it myself. I just had the idea to...
And you got some good... I remember, like, there were rejections. Like, they were positive rejections.
They were positive rejections.
Yeah, you got good feedback.
I got good feedback. I got, like... it's a lot of, like, the vicious circle of, like, you don't have enough experience. You don't blah blah blah. And keep in mind at the time I was working for Stan Lee and writing on a Marvel video game, so there's not. To say that I don't have experience, I think is kind of bullshit.
Yes.
But it's just sometimes it just is not part of their editorial mandate, and that I get it. This is kind of a big swing, but I think the people that read it love it, and so
we do.
Yeah, and you're getting some great reviews.
Getting really good reviews. Had like a 4.5 on Goodreads. That's
incredible.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, so that's important, I think. And,
yeah.
I think people enjoy the mashup, and I think people kind of understand that it is its own thing. Because I didn't want it to just be straight parody. There's something to say. When you have these characters and like access to these worlds, it's like, what do you actually want to say about the human struggle and nature and nurture and all this other stuff? And so that, I think, became like the central crux of what the book is actually about.
Totally. And it's when you say like not too much direct parody, when you were talking earlier about the 60s Batman inspiration, I realized just while you were talking that like, and I was re-looking through the book to check, I don't think at any point do you do the Pow Boff Bippo joke.
No, but there is a joke of there's a great cover by James Callahan, aka Barf Comics. He was one of my favorite artists in the world, and he did a couple of pages for that pilot issue, and I brought him back for a cover, and it's the Bard and Page scaling up Big Ben, and Sammy Davis Jr. is there
with the Scottish play skull.
Yeah.
I love, that's probably my favorite cover. It's a beautiful piece, and but that's just I was like, oh, that's pretty, because I feel like that is like sort of the most played out joke to do when someone is riffing on 60s Batman. And I don't know, how familiar are you with 60s Batman? Not at all. Okay.
I definitely thought of like a Socketh, Powith kind of thing.
Oh, Hamlet. You're right, Dale. I don't know Shakespeare.
I know, I do, and I didn't even correct you.
Yeah, why don't you? Everyone correct me.
I was gonna make a joke about how you were gonna say the M word again.
Yeah. And I also saw we got some new folks here. Bobby, what's up? Thanks for the thanks. It looks cool.
We know.
And I'm sorry, Dale. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I hope you can go on with your day despite the horror I have wrought. Yeah. And so
so
yeah,
to
keep
get
going.
back
Sorry, yeah.
Get back to it. So I ended up thinking like, okay, well, what if I paid like 5 different artists to do 5 different acts of this first issue and like break it up into acts. And so I got some really fantastic artists. I got Cara McGee, who's a wonderful artist, has done some Star Wars stuff, and is currently doing a thing called Self with Christopher Sabella, which is a Comixology original. Very, very cool. Christopher does Crowded. The final volume just came out the other day. Who else was on that first issue? James Callahan, like I was saying, fantastic stuff. And just a lot of Logan Ferber, who did like Nom Wolf and a few other things, just a real murderer's row of talent. And because my thought was like, look, I don't have a ton of name recognition. I want to get people that do, and who are capable of doing this stuff and like already kind of in the know. And I was luckily like making some cash at that point because of the video game writing gig
on Marvel Heroes.
And I wouldn't be able to. Yeah, Marvel Heroes, MMO, Marvel Heroes 2015, Marvel Heroes 2016, and Marvel Heroes Omega.
Yeah, so if anyone at home played any of those, all the little like you were doing the dialogue lines for the characters, right?
Yeah, I was doing I did like 25,000 lines or something like that.
Yeah, it was wild.
For like and it ended up being like 400 or 500 lines per character, but there was a lot of characters. At that point, it was like the most Marvel characters in a single game.
Yeah.
And so like I started off with like the Thing, and and then graduated on to like, oh, Doctor Doom's going to be a playable character. This specific version of Spider-Man is going to be a character. I did Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon before they were, who they are now.
Yeah, when no one knew who they were.
Yeah, when no one knew who they were, and did like movie version costumes of them when we only had access to the trailer. And I think I'm pretty proud of like how those turned out, and a lot of that is just how well those trailers are cut and how much how much of a sense you can actually get of that stuff in it. But yeah, doing like Doctor Strange or like a cowboy version of Deadpool. I mean, like I had a blast with stuff, and there were like top name voice talents doing, going into the booth and directing it and all that stuff. And it was really, really fun, and just unfortunately shut down when Gazillion, the company behind it, could not pay their licensing fee one quarter and just yanked right.
I didn't know that's what it was.
Wow.
Yeah, and right before Thanksgiving in 2017.
Gosh.
Got like, oh, we're just gonna like lay off 300 people.
Oh.
And yeah, and so it stunk, and
Yeah, that stinks.
yeah, it was pretty bad. They owed me a bunch of money, and could have used it, but whatever.
Yeah.
I sued them. And
Good
I
for
got
you.
a judgment, but I couldn't collect because they don't have any money.
They
and
weren't
so
liquid, yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't liquid, and so I keep getting calls every so often from like collection specialists and like PIs that like, hey, we're gonna we can do it, like we can get you, we'll do like a 50-50 split and you can get your money, and that you wouldn't have gotten before. And I was like, hey, like go for it. But
Good luck.
the CEO changed his name and moved to Mexico, so I don't know how much you want to. And
Wow.
they're like, oh yeah, I don't want to take it.
Like they were just
these
mass mailing some list of people with outstanding settlements, and then you were like, yeah, this is gonna be really hard. And they're like, oh wait, never mind.
Yeah, and in that case, it's George Lucas is the voice.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do it anymore.
No, I don't want to do it anymore. And I was gonna say too, just as we continue this conversation, to give Zoe a little context of '60s Batman. If I'd known, I would have made you watch Batman the movie. But no, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll watch it later.
I know.
But basically, '60s Batman was like it was a TV series, and it was a very campy interpretation of Batman, which Batman kind of was in the comics at the time too. And it's essentially a comedy. It's fully like the
60s Batman.
Yeah.
Absolutely a comedy.
It's totally like the people making it were making a comedy on purpose, but they also straddled this really specific line where like it is very much a very silly comedy for adults, but also totally functions as just like fun Batman adventures for kids. So like I watched it obsessively when I was a kid in the 80s, and like I didn't know it was a comedy then. I was just like, hooray, Batman, get them. And but it's a very, very funny series. Adam West, Burt Ward, they're hilarious.
Oh, that's the Adam West Batman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Frank Fortune as the Riddler.
Yeah, all the actors are phenomenal.
I know
Yeah,
of the Adam West
Julie
Batman.
Newmar,
Yeah,
the
Julie
Julie
Newmar.
Catwoman.
Or Eartha Kitt. Eartha
Also
Kitt.
as Catwoman.
Kitt?
Yeah. First Julie Newmar, and then Eartha Kitt played
Well,
the role.
there was also for the Batman the movie. It was who was the second one?
Wasn't that Julie Newmar in the movie?
No. There was a second one. She just played her in the movie, and she was, I think, my favorite, and I don't remember. Her
She is really
name.
good in the movie, and I'll look it up. But yeah, so that's like half the inspiration here on this book. So
Got it.
is the comedic Batman.
Well, yeah, this book was definitely funny.
Yes.
It was funnier than I expected.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
really?
Eric. I was like, Eric, not funny. This book, funny.
What? Batman the movie is 6.5 on IMDb? You're all crazy.
People
6.5.
Get it.
It's a 10. It's a 10.
It's a 10 out of 10.
It's a 10 out of
Some days
10.
you can't get rid of a bomb.
Exactly. It's amazing. So the Catwoman in the movie,
We're gonna find
We're
out.
gonna find out. I'm here at the cast.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, Lee Merriweather.
Who?
Merriweather.
Lee
that's
Merriweather. An actress from the
What?
time.
An actress from the time. Got it. I love me an actress from the time.
But yeah. And also, Eric, I'd love for you to share with anyone watching, especially if anyone out there is interested in making their own comics. What kind of advice, Eric, would you give to aspiring comic creators?
What a question.
Don't do it.
Give up now.
Just kidding. Just kidding. But do it within your means and do it within, try to have a following online first, post daily. This is all stuff that I did not do, but like post pages on a regular schedule and then collect it. I think some of the best kind of comics now are Mr. Boop and Crime Hot from Alec Robbins.
Okay, I
All
don't know
right.
those at all.
Love that.
They're amazing. You would love them.
Mr. Boop and Crime Hot.
Yeah, Crime Hot is really, really funny.
Cool.
And yeah, Alec Robbins sells them on his website, but you can also read them for free every couple of days on Twitter. And
So he he will put all the pages out on Twitter over a period of time. Huh.
yeah, and then if you want to read it, you can just do that. And it helps that he's a funny Hollywood person, but it's also I think that it's all practice. And for me, I'm always very scared of being judged for something that is imperfect. And so this thing was being cooked for a long, long time. And, it's still not perfect. There's still things that I would love to change about it, but I can't.
Sure.
And, but it's out there and it's done. And I'm not going to change it. And I'm not going to keep tinkering with it like George Lucas. And, now it's the thing that it is. And people like it for what it is. And people get it. And so... if you can draw it yourself, definitely do that.
Yeah.
Hire a professional letterer. They are cheap. They are $10 to $15 a page for a very competent letterer.
Good to know.
Go to different communities. There's a couple of subreddits, a couple of places on Twitter and other social media that have a lot of great discussion and a lot of excellent artists working within it. For example, a couple years ago, I think 2 years ago at this point, as a pandemic project, I did a series of horror comics, one-page horror comics that are kind of inspired by the Bernie Wrightson EC kind of pre-code comics. And they are just reinterpreted.
And sorry, I can just pause you for 1 second with terminology. For people who don't know, like Zoe, I'm guessing Comics Code was a thing that happened. What decade was that, Eric?
That was the 50s, 60s, I want to say.
Yeah, that basically for a long time, comic creators were unfettered, and so some of the most popular comics were horror comics at the time. Like Tales from the Crypt was a huge horror comic.
I've heard of this.
Well, and Tales from the Crypt was made into a hit HBO series in the 90s.
That's why I've heard of this.
Yeah, but
superheroes kind of fell out of fashion after the war, after the 40s. And so a lot of stuff kind of moved to noir, detective, very racy stuff.
Even the early Batman comics were even the gritty crime comics.
Where he was, where he had a gun, and all the rest of that.
So and then what happened was then parents complained.
Well, there was this thing. There was this guy who wrote a book called Seduction of the Innocent. His name was Frederick Mortimer, and he was like, "Comics will turn your kids gay." And he was right.
Which makes me wonder, how'd you get gay, Zoe?
I know. I didn't
didn't
even
read
any
any comic
comics.
books.
Well, I tried.
You didn't even read like Jughead or Millie the Model?
Well,
or...
okay.
How
so
can you turn gay without reading Jughead?
I tried to read Jughead, and I wanted to like have a crush on like Vanessa or Veronica. What's her name?
Veronica and
or
Betty
Betty
were the two.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Riverdale or whatever.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, and then I was just like, I don't.
Yeah.
I was like, it's pictures and words. I didn't. And then Riverdale came out, and I was like, now I can have a crush. No, I don't know how I turned out gay without the comics. I really don't.
But yeah, so then that book release inspired the enactment of a new comics code.
Okay.
And
the Comics Code Authority was actually an effort from the publishers to police themselves so that they wouldn't have regulations. And so there was like a pretty strict list of like things you could and could not show. It was pretty analogous to the Hays Code of movie making around the same time, a little bit earlier.
And Zoe, are you familiar with the Hays Code?
So like the Hays Code was like no violence against police officers. Police officers are always right.
Got it.
Or like Hays Code is the reason that Lucy and Ricky slept in different beds.
Yes.
We watch I Love Lucy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how Lucy and Ricky were married, but
Yeah,
they'd
but they
sleep in
slept in the
separate
little
tiny
beds.
beds?
Yeah.
It's because of the Hays Code. You weren't allowed to have two people sleeping in the same bed on TV.
No sex, no toilets.
Yeah, no toilets. That was another rule. Can't show toilets.
See, I just came onto this interview as a Shakespeare fan. I'm learning so much.
Yeah, you are. Anyway,
And
so Comic Code, similar Hays Code. Keep going, Eric.
Yeah, similar to Hays Code, and it was backwards even at the time, and like and so people were trying to get away with what they could get away with. I'm not sure what the point is, but like things like there was a Spider-Man, like it doesn't exist anymore. As the culture evolved, and it's okay to say dirty words now and show things. But kind of one of the beginning of the end was there was an anti-drug PSA that there was a Spider-Man comic, and Stan Lee was like, no, we want to show the dangers of drugs by showing the actual effects of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't show drug use because of the Comics Code, and so they published it without the Comics Code seal of approval, which is, in fairness, a very cool stamp.
I love this stamp, yeah.
The stamp is great. The stamp shows up at the very beginning of the Spider-Verse movie, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm on board.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, like the Comics Code Authority like kind of pushed everything back a little bit, and so that's when things started to get campier. That's when you had and that was responsible for like R. Crumb in the 70s and like all the underground comics and independent comics coming to the forefront. Mostly, because they weren't regulated by it, and they were like, well, we're gonna make something really fucking dirty.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
I envy those artists of that time where like just making something really dirty was like gonna get you tons of attention because it was so unorthodox. And now it's like you could make a comic about like, I don't know, like a gangbang monster.
Gangbang
Yeah,
monster.
gangbang
That's
monster
it.
that like eats babies, and everyone be like, who cares?
There's a manga, and it's not. It's again, this is not. They're not governed in Japan like they are here, but there's there's their own censorship laws that are kind of silly, but there's a manga called Dick Fight Island.
There you go.
And it's people who fight with their dicks, and it's funny. So.
Yeah, and if you publish a comic called Dick Fight Island about people who fight with their dicks in like 1972, you'd become world famous and infamous in like a week. And now you do it, and it's like, who cares?
Call from Congress.
Right, exactly. You would be summoned to the government. Well, you did a comic about what? And now it's just like, it's another comic on the shelf. Just another time.
Look. Johnny Ryan, who used to draw for Nickelodeon magazine, and he was like a character designer on a Nickelodeon show called Pig Goat Banana Cricket, and he does like Looney Tunes.
I didn't know he started he did Nickelodeon stuff before the indie like dirty stuff, or
I think he was doing it around the same time, but like the dirty stuff is the funny shit that like makes me laugh harder than anything, and it's disgusting and offensive and horrible, but it's also it's you know, people with guns like pissing, and
it's transcendent.
And, like, it's great. Like, he's the guy that did the 9/11 the towers, like
the towers getting right, or it was like the towers like getting a blowjob from a bald eagle or something.
Something like that. I mean, he's done a couple.
You should check out Johnny Ryan's art.
I will.
Yeah, he just got banned from Instagram.
Did he get fully banned?
I think so. He got like shadow banned for a while, but I think he's like banned now.
Yeah, because they were taking down his art every other day because it's so filthy and hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. People just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, yeah. And then I've got some. I'm kind of like down to my sillier questions now. That that I was wondering, Eric, what would you think Shakespeare would think of this book of yours?
Oh yeah, what a question.
Pretty great right now.
The what?
I think he's rolling over in his grave.
You don't think he wanted to fight crime?
No, I think the thing that I was like, okay, I can take some liberties with this. Is like Shakespeare in Love. That's not good. That's not funny.
Yeah.
It won Best Picture, I think.
It won Best Picture, and no one has watched it since.
Jesus, it sucks so bad.
Not a single person has put Shakespeare in Love on and watched the entire thing since it won an Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, it was truly the artist of its day, and yeah, it sucks. And I was like, well, look, you can like write that shit, and that's way more famous than this is ever gonna be.
Yeah,
so.
there you go.
So I was like that, and also just like, you know, people are so happy to take liberties with Shakespeare shit. Like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, even like Kenneth Branagh is like, oh, I'll put Much Ado About Nothing in the 1800s,
right? Or Baz Luhrmann,
you know, Baz Luhrmann. You know, I love Baz Luhrmann. I love
me too.
I love the Baz Luhrmann Romeo plus Juliet. I mean, I think that's a great movie with a couple of problems, but
it has the problems, but it definitely worked on me as a young person.
It works within the text. I mean,
yeah.
You know, there's that change at the end that I don't love, but
right. But it worked for me. I remember as a young person when Romeo plus Juliet came out, like I was not into Shakespeare, and then I was like, well, this is pretty cool. So like it definitely achieved what it was trying to do.
Great soundtrack.
Yeah. Cool looking guns.
Cool looking guns that say sword on them.
That say sword and dagger on them. Love that shit.
A young Harold Perrineau doing Mercutio.
He's
amazing.
Great. He tears it up.
John Leguizamo is Tybalt.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Great cast across the board.
Great cast, great soundtrack. I still put on that Desiree song, "Kissing You." Ah. So good.
I don't remember that one. You have to perform the whole thing now, Eric.
Yeah. You have to sing the entire song
memory
from start to finish.
Perfect pitch, please.
Or we're ending the stream.
I was doing it.
Well, yeah. So now.
Good. I don't want to I can sing it perfectly, but I don't want you to get copyright flagged.
Well, right.
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, that's it. That's the reason. Yep, got it. Okay.
And now that we talked about what Shakespeare would think of the comic, what do you think Batman would think of it?
I think Batman should use his resources to pay off crime instead of fighting it.
Yes.
No, that's just like the hot take that everyone has when they're... Yeah. It's boring.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What would Batman think? There's just been so many versions of Batman,
right?
Too.
Which Batman?
There's been so many versions of Shakespeare.
Well, what would Adam West Batman think?
Yeah, the important one.
Adam West would be delighted.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, and not to toot my own horn, but I think he would be like, you know, oh.
Yeah, no, I think Adam West would be like, how can we get this started as a new show for me?
Yeah. How can I be
Shakespeare? Would have been. R.I.P. Adam West, but would have been.
Yeah, R.I.P. Adam West. Burt Ward, I believe, is still alive and is running some dog charity.
Oh.
I would love to get it into his hands if you know him.
If anyone at home knows Burt Ward, definitely.
Gentle Giants
Yeah.
Foundation.
And what's up, Quenwich? Welcome to the chat.
Yeah. Talking with
Hello.
our buddy Eric about his awesome comics.
And now I think the most important question.
Oh, yeah, we gotta end on a strong point.
What's next for Eric Gladstone? What's coming up? What's on the docket? What's on the burner? What are you baking up in your brain oven, baby?
There's a few things, actually. I have not a ton that I can talk about.
Sure,
I
of
have
course.
some pictures out for some horror sci-fi stuff that's a little more traditional, a little more accessible.
Cool.
I have some stuff that is under NDA that's IP comics. You know, who knows if those will go forward or not. I have some other stuff going on. I actually just I have had a hard time getting a job in the industry the last couple of years, and I mean, I know I'm not the only one, but
No,
it kind of
I feel you.
Yeah, I know. So
I mean, I gave up. I gave up and started a stream show. So
I did not give up. I haven't fully given up, but I gave up enough so that I could like get an EMT certification, and so I'm just working on the end of that.
Yeah. Which
so,
is awesome. You're
Yeah, super proud of you.
Yeah, you went and trained
Yeah,
to be
ride
a
around
hero.
in ambulances and try to help people, and think about things, and maybe get some inspiration to write other things. So that's kind of where I am with that.
Hell yeah, man. And also, I think one more time for anyone new, since we have a couple new people, again, let's give a little plug. Where can folks find and purchase No Holds Barred?
No Holds Barred from Behemoth Entertainment. All hail Behemoth.
All hail Behemoth.
Hello, Behemoth.
You can find it at Comixology. You can find it at your local comic book shop. Please call ahead. You can find it at Midtown Comics. You can find it at Things from Another World and and finer comic book retailers everywhere. It's not a huge run, so just call ahead, buy some other comics, and collected edition will be released, I believe, in July.
Fantastic.
Amazing. Well, Eric, this was so fun.
This was wonderful. Do you have any final thoughts? Anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
I love the Casey and Zoe thing.
Oh.
Play some fun video games.
Yeah, we're going to play some games.
We're gonna play some games. What we're probably gonna do is take a little 5-minute break so we can recalibrate our camera onto OBS.
Yes.
Come back again as a new tag and
we'll
do
put
all
up-
that stuff, so you guys don't have to watch us.
Yeah, we'll put up your little hold your horses screen. We'll figure all that out, and we'll be back with games in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, Eric, so much for being here.
Eric Gladstone.
Thank you for being our very first guest on the Casey and Zoe thing.
Lovely to have me, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Well, yeah, we'll see you in the chat, and we'll see you in the real world. Everybody go out and buy No Holds Barred. There are 3 issues currently available, 3 more issues on the way, dropping weekly, right, Eric?
Dropping monthly. There was
monthly. Got it.
Yeah, there was a screw up with Diamond Comics Distributors, which is currently a monopoly for comics distribution, and they were hacked in November, and so a lot of orders went missing and things like that.
Oh, jeez.
That was just like the last of many speed bumps to get to where we are right now. But hopefully the last of the speed bumps. But issue 2 released last week, issue 3 released this week. Hopefully we'll get on a more regular schedule for the rest of them. And yeah, I don't know, call your local elector.
Yeah, like we said before, if you can get it from a local comic shop, go do that. Support the local small business. And
Gail Simone loved it.
Gail Simone loved it.
I gave her a copy, and she was like, "This is fantastic. Why didn't I think of that?"
Oh, snap.
And, yeah. So,
Amazing. We're so happy to hear.
all right.
yeah.
All right.
Read it, love it, love me. Love me. Please.
Love Eric.
Read-
At the end of
read
the day,
book, love Eric.
love Eric.
And yeah, I'm sure we'll have you back again sometime in the
Absolutely.
future to discuss
Oh
other
yeah,
stuff.
if you want a shirt or something,
Oh,
I
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a couple of them.
Yeah, show that merch.
Yeah,
Campaign.
merch.
I got some merch. Find me on Twitter at Real Gladstone, or check my Gumroad. I know Gumroad has a little bit of a controversy right now, so I'm gonna maybe try and move them off. But I don't know. If you want some, hit me up. I'll sell them to you for a reasonable price.
Hell yeah. And Zoe's dropping your Twitter in the chat.
Cool, thank you.
Kablammy. And thanks, Elise. Elise has a great interview. Good work, Eric.
Thanks, Mom.
And us.
And us.
And yeah, so we're gonna pop off for a few minutes. We'll be back with games.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Eric. We love you madly. So happy to have you here. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, Eric. And everybody else will be back in a few minutes.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye, buddy.
Bye,
Love
bye.
you.